Hello, everybody. Welcome. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. It's Big Man Plays here. We're going to be doing a Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout course tier list. And I think this is quite an important one to do because we've had a couple of weeks now to play the game, and there's strategies that are being evolved, and there's a lot of skill is coming into it now, and people are getting win after win because they're good, and some games are remaining to be utter trash. So I'm going to give you my opinions today. If you like what you see, please feel free to subscribe. I'm also live on Twitch a lot playing this game, so please go over to there. The link will be in the description. Let's just get on with it. So we've got 5 tiers. We've got the super duper S tier, lit, decent, small yikes, and utter trash. Now I'm just going to go out and just put some stuff in utter trash before we start. And it's going to be tail tag, team tail tag, and where is it? Royal Fumble. Fuck do I hate, and I mean hate, these bad boy tracks. These courses, I mean. Holy shit. Because the grab mechanic is very sort of risky. I know there's ways to do it. Like, I know that you can go, you're not meant to chase people and you're meant to ambush them and all that, but there have been times where I get grabbed from, the guy's like 3 feet behind me, I've got 5 seconds left, and I get grabbed, and I just think it's bullshit. I think it's such bullshit, especially Royal Fumble. I think that Royal Fumble needs reworking. Obviously, I'm just a player. I'm not a dev, so, they can do what they like. The game's doing very well, but this is just my opinion. Royal Fumble should maybe be time-based, like in the 2 minutes, who holds the tail for the longest, because you can. I had a friend, Grooks, who didn't play for the first minute and a half. He came to life in the last 30 seconds, and he won, because he just didn't want to play the first minute and a half. Like, the first minute and a half was meaningless. Do you know what I mean? So, I just think these tail games, like, there is strategy to them. There's stuff that's evolving, obviously. But at the moment, it's not seeming like it's very fun compared to the others. It doesn't seem as fair, right? Right. I just wanted to get those out of the way because that's, like, the main negatives. I actually have a lot of positives about this game. I love this game. I think it's amazing. So let's start with... Let's go in order. We got Block Party next. I'm going to say Block Party's decent. Block Party, there's a lot of... you're meant to sort of stand near the edge on one of the sides and tilt the camera over and you can see what's coming. But if you get grabbed or if you get caught in the crowd, there's a lot of situations you can't really avoid. But it's not a bad game. I think it's pretty fun. I usually go through on it, as long as people aren't being super duper grabby or as long as it's not like loads of people all the time. It's not hard and you can't jump up on the wall anymore, so the hack's gone. Yeah, I think it's decent. I think Block Party is decent. Gate Crash I'll also put as decent. It's not particularly crazy game. It's just about getting through the gates and making sure you avoid crowds. Again, a lot of this game is avoiding crowds, apart from in a few circumstances. I like Gate Crash though. It is a decent course. Going through the gates and timing, which gates to go to, especially on the final ramp. You've always got to go for the one that's like rising at the end because it will give you time to slide down and jump over. Also, jump diving when you're not sure if you're going to make it is actually pretty decent on pretty much all of the gates. What's next? DoorDash. Now, if I put DoorDash in decent, it will be at the top of decent. It might be at the bottom of lit. The thing is with DoorDash, I just watched a video today on DoorDash about how to identify the doors. And I knew about the last door. Like, the final door is very much like, it's a little bit lower than the others. But I didn't realize that the closer, the teeth at the bottom of the door. If I put it down, can you see? There are teeth at the bottom of the door. If the door is right up against those teeth for the last 3 rows, then it's a good door to bash through. And I've come first in 2 DoorDashes today since watching that video. So I think I'm going to preemptively put DoorDash as lit purely because it's not super duper S tier because there's a lot of luck in terms of getting bumped out the way of the doors and that's rage inducing to the max. But stuff is being found out about DoorDash and we like to hear it. Okay, Egg Scramble. Oh, Egg Scramble, man. I'm going to put it below Gate Crash in decent. I like Egg Scramble. I think it's a good game. But because it's a team game, you have to rely on a team being good, okay? So I'm putting it in decent because when your team is good, it can be lit. If your team is bad, it's a small yikes. So it's in the middle. It's a decent, right? Egg Scramble, The good thing about Scramble is learning how to play it. So if you're in a squad, it's way better because you can get some people in the middle at the start, shooting eggs back and just staying in the middle, and the guys near your base just chucking them in. So it's like a conveyor belt sort of thing. That's a really good method at the start. And then you can basically, if you're in the lead, defend. That's the strategy. Or if you're not in the lead, you've got to go and just absolutely fuck whoever. So try and make a truce with either the blue or the yellow or the red team and just fuck the other team up, basically. I think it's a good game in concept, and I think playing it's pretty fun. It's all about numbers, basically. If you've got more numbers than the opponent in what you're trying to do, you're going to win eventually. So you've got to coordinate with the team properly if possible. Next game, Fumble. I'm going to put Fumble in lit. I like Fumble. Once again, it's if your team is shit, you can't do anything about it. You will just lose, right? But it requires a lot of positioning and skill. Obviously, if you play Rocket League or if you know about Rocket League, then this is very similar to it, yeah? But I have a friend who plays Rocket League, Dizzy Rec. Shouts to Dizzy Rec. He is very good at this game because he understands positioning. And I've beaten teams before, pretty much, like, not on my own, but like with only a couple of us, because the whole other team is chasing behind a ball and they're not thinking about where the ball's going to go. And if your team's like that, then fuck me, it's the worst. But sometimes, you're against that team. And it's really good, even if they've got an extra person, even if, you're a person down. If they're bad at playing, you can easily win. And I quite like that about the game, the fact that it takes skill. So I'm putting it at the bottom end of lit. It's more than decent, in my opinion. Fall Mountain's going at the top end of lit, I think. Fall Mountain's a really, really good game. It's a good race. There are certain lines you can take that are safer, like straight down the left or the right side. I think the left side's actually a little bit quicker. If you take those routes, then you're a lot safer. But if you go down the middle, it's quicker, but you will get smashed about by balls and propellers, and it's just a bit scary. So there's definitely risk-reward to it. It's just a dash, basically, Fall Mountain, and you've got also the crown at the top being like rising and falling. It's good because it gives the people behind who have been fucked over a little chance, because if you rush through and the crown goes up, you can't jump and grab it, so you have to wait for like 3 seconds, which is crucial time. I've lost because I've waited for too long because I've been too fast, and I've won because I've been slower and I've gotten there at the right time. So I think Fall Mountain's definitely lit. What's next? Slime Climb. Oh, bro, Slime Climb. Super duper S tier. Just excellent. Slime Climb is so good as long as you know how to get across certain things and how to not be greedy. A lot of these games are about not being greedy and taking the jumps when you know you can. Like in the first section, everyone jumps on that little cheese trampoline block thing. I was talking with Dizzy Rec about it the other day. You can just jump up the platform next to it. No one does it, and it's so easy. It's free. There's a lot of tiny jumps you can do to save time and to get past the crowd, and that makes the game a lot more about skill and conserving yourself compared to like, fuck, the slime's killing me, because at the start I hated Slime Climb because I didn't know the tech, but now I do. Fruit Shoot. I'm going to put Fruit Shoot in small yikes. It's not fun for me to do Fruit Shoot. There's strategies, obviously going in the middle is pretty bad and you want to go up the left or the right. But if the fruit just fucks you up at the beginning, you're already on the back foot. And I don't lose Fruit Shoot too much, but I just don't enjoy it that much. I think if you're in front of people, you're doing way better, because if you get bumped, you at least get to bump them back. But then if you're behind, you get punished for doing nothing wrong. So, yeah, I don't know. I think Fruit Shoot's very, like, luck of the draw rather than, like, skill. Like, there is obviously skill to it, but it's way more luck-based, I think. What next? Hit Parade. Hit Parade. Hit Parade's decent, man. There's not, like, I'll put it in the top of decent, right? Because I think it's probably the same as Block Party Gate Crash. Hit Parade is good because you've got to basically, I mean, you can go across the poles at the beginning, or you can jump off in the middle of the cushions, because there's like the slime slope. If you dive in between the cushions and then, if you jump in between the cushions and then dive last minute, you are just as quick as everyone who is making it at the top. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good. It's not like if you go down there you're fucked. I actually take that strat pretty much every time unless I'm right at the front. Then you just follow the crowd the whole way through, which is pretty easy. And then if you can break away the swinging balls, all you have to do is be patient because people rush it and they get fucked. I've been destroyed because I've rushed it before. And then at the very end, the slime slope where you go up with the bumpers, you just go up one of the sides and you'll be fine. I like Hit Parade. I think it's decent. What next? Hexagon, bro. Very top of super duper S tier. Hexagon requires so much skill and knowledge. My gripe with Hexagon is that it can be done with so many players, but even then I don't mind it. Like, I actually quite like it with multiple people. Let's move this up a little bit. That's that. There we go. Hexagon is sick. It requires a lot of skill. It requires platforming skill. It requires knowledge. It requires prediction. It requires you setting up for your next jump from like down a layer. You need to know when to play aggressive and when to play conservative and jump between tiles. You need to be able to head people off and understand how to cut people off properly. And if you go down a couple layers at the start, it does not mean you're out. You actually have a pretty good advantage wherever you are if you play your cards right. Hexagon is a really good game that can be played by everyone if you've got the tech for it. It's really good. What have we got next? Hoarders. I'll put Hoarders in the same boat as Egg Scramble in the fact that it's a pretty fun game, but if your team is shit and they don't know what they're doing, it's pretty sad. I think it's a bit better than Egg Scramble though because there's more to it, I think. So getting the balls in the back of your section in the little divot, that's where you want your balls to be because that's going to be really hard for the enemy team to go for. Also, you don't need balls in your section. If you're trying to like fuck some other team up, you just give it to the other team, right? So say we're fucking up yellow team because fuck yellow team. We get the balls out of yellow, we just shove them into blue because as long as we have one ball and yellow has nothing, one more ball than yellow, we're fine, right? So Hoarders, there's a lot of tactic to it. It's way easier if you're in a squad. It's a decent game. I like it a lot. What's next? Hoopsy Daisy, I would definitely put this up here in lit. Hoopsy Daisy, I actually smile whenever it's cute. It's one of my favorite team games. Is it my favorite team game? I think it is. Yeah, I'm going to say it is. Hoopsy Daisy is my favourite team game because it's a lot of skill that's needed for it as well, like jump diving through stuff, whether you need to jump through stuff, space you need to get yourself in. When you see a teammate going for a hoop, leaving them to it and finding your own hoops, because I see people follow their teammates around and they're getting nothing done, they're being really inefficient, and they lose because they're just following each other around like, oh, there's a hoop there, let's all go for it. Whereas, the other team's splitting up and looking for hoops properly. Gold hoops as well. They change the game up and make it pretty interesting because if you're down by like 5 and you get a gold hoop, then you're even suddenly. I think that's a really good mechanic. I think the whole game's actually really, really fun. I like Hoopsy Daisy a lot. I'm actually going to put it in front of DoorDash because I like it. DoorDash is better than Fumble in my opinion. But I'll put Hoopsy Daisy up there, just below Full Mountain. I think it's pretty good. What do we got next? Jinxed. I think it's better than... Whoa, I think it's about the same level as Fruit Shoot, actually. Yeah, Jinxed is... I like Jinxed a little bit because, it's about communicating with your team if you're in a squad, that is. If not, then you just kind of head people off. When you're not Jinxed, it's about running and getting into open space and making sure you've got options. But at the end, there's no way you're going to be able to do that efficiently. It's just about surviving longer than the other team when it's 1v1 or 2v1. I have seen hackers on this one jumping on top of the little things. We actually lost. We were 5 ahead and then we lost because there was a hacker on the wall. Obviously, hackers can ruin every single one of these games, so it's not, hackers don't make this a small yikes. But that's just something I've noticed. Jinxed is really, really, really interesting, but it doesn't make it super fun. I actually think it's more fun than Fruit Shoot. I'm going to put it above Fruit Shoot in small yikes, but I think it is a small yikes still. Okay, Jump Club. Jump Club I feel is kind of easy, right? I'd say it's in the top end of decent next to Hit Parade, Block Party. It's just fun. You do have to have wits about you because if you get grabbed, you will get fucked by that little spinning baton. Also, it's pretty fun to just make sure that you're okay at it. I think it's less fun than Jump Showdown, which is next. Let's actually talk about Jump Showdown. That's going in the lit section, just above DoorDash. No, actually, I'm going to put it at the top of lit because I quite like... Hello? Full Mountain doesn't want to move, bro. Come on. There we go. Jump Showdown is going above Full Mountain because it requires a lot of skill. It requires some techers because you... Right, so there's actually a lot of like tech to Jump Showdown, right? Because if you're standing on the inside, you have less time to react. This is when it's going really fast. You have less time to react than if you're standing outside. But outside, you'll get fucking yeeted if you get pushed so far. So I think outside's better, but it's really difficult to line everything up properly every single time. There's a video I watched about counting how many times you jump before you go under, and that's helped me a lot. I'm yet to get a dub on Jump Showdown. I'm yet to get a win. But I've seen friends get wins, and diving between platforms when yours is going is absolutely hell-inducing, and it's so much fun. I absolutely love it. What's next? Perfect Match. That's going in small yikes. The thing with Perfect Match is that it's quite easy, but that doesn't make it very fun. It's very much like, 1 or 2 people get eliminated from it usually, maybe 3 or 4. It just feels like a bit of a waste of a slot, right? Like, it's fun, but it is a small yikes in a way. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not the best game. It's not like, yes, perfect match, fuck yeah, like when you get like Jump Showdown or Slime Climb or something, It's not like that when you get perfect match. It's like, oh, perfect match, okay. But it's not like utter trash. I don't play it and dislike it. It's probably the most fun out of all the small yikes courses. It's borderline decent, I'd say. Rock and roll. I'm going to put that... Oh, bro. I'm going to put it at the bottom of lit. I really like rock and roll because... Rock and roll requires a lot of skill in the fact that you need to be able to see what your team is doing, what other teams are doing, and then respond accordingly. So at the start, every single person should be pushing that ball because the more people that are behind the ball, the faster it will go, okay? You also need to have your team push it in the correct direction. If it just shoves it against the wall and goes into a pole or shoves it into little triangle cushions, then you're going to get fucked. If you notice that you're last or other teams are pulling ahead of you, if somebody doesn't go forwards to cut them off, you need to run forwards and cut them off. Because if they get over and they realise that you're fucked, they won't stop each other and they'll both just go through. So if you're in last place, you need to be making sure that at least one person, maybe 2 from your team, is going to head the other guys off. In that same respect, don't all of you go, because if you all jump off and leave 1, 2 guys to push the ball, it won't get pushed anyway because the ball's too heavy. So... make sure that you're responsible with it, because I see it a lot of times. People run away because they're like, I'm going to head the other teams off, and then they lose because they don't have enough people to push the ball. Okay, what's next? Rollout. Rollout's decent. Where's Rollout? Rollout's like Gate Crash level in my opinion. I like it a lot. It's decent because... there's different methods you can use. So you can be a grabby boy, you can not be a grabby boy. I've recently become more grabby because I tend to feel like you get 1 or 2 reactions when you're a grabber. You either get people who grab you back and they're super aggressive towards you because they hate the fact that you've grabbed them, or you get lots of space. I find that I get quite a lot of space when I start grabbing people because everyone wants to avoid the grabbers, which is how I used to be. I used to want to avoid grabbers, and I still kind of do. But you can. I've eliminated someone before. You just like push them the way. If they're running the opposite way of the platform that you're on, if you grab them, you just hold them there, and if they don't move, they'll get shoved into a gap, and that's pretty good. Like that's a way to actually impact the game because only a few people can go through. So rollout does take skill. Platforming as well, really important, and avoiding grabbers. Like it's about movement. It's about that sort of skill. So I think it's pretty good. It's on the same level as Gate Crash and Block Party in my opinion. What's next? Dizzy Heights. Dizzy Heights is lit, man. Dizzy Heights is a good one. It's a good platformer. Where does it go in lit? It goes above DoorDash, that's for sure. Just below Hoopsy Daisy seems right. Yeah, Dizzy Heights is good. There's strats to it. You've got to just make sure that you cut ahead of the crowd. Try and go on the right side as much as possible because it lines up better for the end little spinny boys. There's not really much to say, to be honest. Just make sure that you're trying to avoid the crowd massively. That's my big tip. Just avoid the crowd. Seesaw. Oh, Seesaw, bro. I don't know where to put Seesaw because I think it's lit. But okay, I'm actually going to put it in lit. I'm going to put it above DoorDash actually, because oh shit, hang on, let me put that properly there again. Okay, yeah, I'm going to put Rock and Roll. No, where was it? Seesaw. I'm going to put Seesaw here because it's just you can predict where people are going. You can look forwards and you can see where the seesaws are going. And if you tend to go in that direction, and if you jump dive correctly, and if you position yourself into the middle of seesaws when you jump as much as possible, you should be okay. But saying that, you do get fucked off by some people sometimes when they just jump on your seesaw because they want to tip it all over and lose all 5 of your lives. Also, if you're in the front in Seesaw, you don't really have an excuse. You just have a clean run to go right to the end. As long as you understand the basic principles of physics, you should be fine. I think Seesaw is an underrated game. I think it's pretty fun, but you've just got to be good at seeing where to go. Tiptoe. Tiptoe is lit. Tiptoe is actually above Dizzy Heights. Yeah, I like Tiptoe. Because as long as you understand that being the hero is not always the thing to do, unless your name's Jelly Dot, and bro, he like jumped, dived his way to victory, and then him and the guy who followed him got to victory because he just jumped across loads of panels. No one knew where to go, so they spent like another minute figuring out the route while he was qualified for ages. It was so good. Anyway, Tiptoe, I like to let people get the first couple of tiles. The thing is with Tiptoe is that you usually tiles will always go at least 2 in one direction. So if you go up, if you find the route and it's like 3 up and then it's like left, if you're left 1, it's usually fine to go another one over because there's only 1 in that direction. Usually there's at least 2 blocks in any direction. Also, if you look at anything or any of the blocks and they begin to shake, then they're fake and you do not want them. The colours of the blocks, as far as I know, don't make any difference to anything because there's some different shades of orange, but that's all fine. If they shake, don't step on them. Let other people do the work and make sure you stand on the centre of any platform you're on because then it will be really hard for you to get pushed off. And make sure you're, especially towards the end, just stay still and let other people do the work. And then just rush for the finish. There's not much else I can tell you about that. Finally, Whirligig. That is definitely super duper S tier because there's a lot of tech to it and it's not as easy as you think. I can have the worst start in the world and still come top 20 because no one understands how to do the propeller at the end. So let's go from the start. You can either, this doesn't matter us anyway, by the way, you can either let the poles at the start that spin around yeet you into oblivion and you probably get where you want to go, or you can jump over them. It doesn't really matter too much. A lot of people are letting them be yeeted at the moment. It used to be better to not do it, but now a lot of people are doing it, so you get bumped around a lot. It just is luck of the draw with that. So you can do either thing. Then as you go up the escalator to those 2 little yellow platforms and then the thing you can grab onto, there's 3 ways to get up it. You can jump onto the yellow platform and then quickly jump up onto the purple platform and you'll be fine. Or you can jump and grab very quickly and you'll just jump up the big platform. Or the thing I've learned to do and I like doing is using the escalator's momentum, jump at the very top of the escalator and then dive and you will just make it up the platform as long as no one gets in your way. So that's pretty good and it's pretty consistent. Then you just have to avoid the propellers for like the slow propellers. You can go in between, you know, the ones that spin in a line. You can go in between where they spin and you just will never get hit. I've never been hit on those. Then the final ramp, you can go either left or right or through the middle, and it's really difficult to get through the middle unless, I'm pretty sure everyone's watched this video, you go to the very left of the escalator and jump dive so that you lie down underneath the propeller and you will always get through every single time. I barely ever fail that. It's pretty easy once you master it. And then after that, it's just timing your jumps. It's really, there's a lot of stuff that goes into it, but I've never ever had a bad time on Whirligig. I always qualify. And that's it for now. They'll probably be adding more games at some point. Let me just give you another little view of the tier list. So we've got Hexagon, Whirligig, Slime Climb in super duper S tier. We've got quite a lot of lit games. We've got Jump Showdown, Full Mountain, Hoopsy Daisy, Tiptoe, Dizzy Heights, Seesaw, DoorDash, Fumble, and Rock and Roll. Then decent, you've got Jump Club, Hit Parade, Block Party, Rollout, Gate Crash, Hoarders, Egg Scramble. Small Yikes is Perfect Match, Jinxed and Fruit Shoot. And then utter trash is Tail Tag, Team Tail Tag, and Royal Fumble. I hope you've had a fun time listening to me talk about Fall Guys. I stream it all the time, as I said earlier on. So please make sure you check out the Twitch, which will be in the description. Shouts to everyone who plays Fall Guys, man. It's a fucking sick game. Have a lovely day, and see ya.